Hey, what's going on, guys? If you are searching for this video, I think I know why, because I had the same problem you did. There just aren't any good solutions for arrow detection that don't have any major faults to them. So I found a way that I think is pretty darn good and doesn't have all the shortcomings that all the other videos I've seen have. So anyways, this is my little city that I started with a bunch of friends. We each built our own houses and buildings and yada yada, train station. Well, my newest build last night was finally the first thing I've probably built that is noteworthy, and it is Archery Range. So those are the targets. You come up and hit this button to start the game. And I'll just give you a demonstration before we start blabbering on. Notice a score on the right side of the screen. Oops. Fail, that first one didn't detect. Okay, so other than that one weird one, which by the way the failure rate's only like 1 in 100, or it might even be more than or less than that. I mean, it's very, very rare that you get one that hits in the white and it doesn't register, but for some reason this one had one that was like that. But anyways, the only downside I can think of is that you have to go pick the arrows up for it to reset. If you hit it and then you try to hit it a second time, it won't register any more points until you remove all the arrows from it. And then once the light turns off, it's reset, then you can shoot it again. So anyways, as you can see, the score is kept on the right side of the screen. If you hit the button, it'll reset, and then it's ready for you to start again. You come up onto this little podium to do your shooting. So you can compete with friends, and then you can each take one shot at each target, and then see how many points you end up with. And then, I don't know, it's kind of fun. These right here probably aren't necessary. I haven't done enough testing to know if spectators and other people on the server can see the score without clicking this, but just in case, that's what I added. So if you're a spectator and you can't see the user score, you would hit that button. And then if you want the score to go away because you're trying to do some mining and you're tired of seeing it on your screen, you can come over here and hit this one, score goes away. And it's pretty simple. You get lights at the top that let you know that it hit, as well as some sound that comes out down by your feet. So it is pretty simple. You're probably thinking scorekeeping, lights, sounds, detecting when an arrow hits. This must be super complicated, and I promise you, you don't need any experience with redstone to build this. It is super simple, and that's why I want to come here and share this video with you today. So let's go ahead and hop into my little sandbox creative world, and I'll show you how to build this. It is really easy. Okay, so here we go. You can use like black wool if you want, or whatever you want actually. The problem is, if someone has an enchanted bow and it shoots flaming arrows, you risk your target burning to the ground. So I recommend using something like cobblestone or obsidian. I like obsidian because it's almost a black color. It's such a dark purple, it almost looks like it's black. And then if you use quartz for the bullseye, it really stands out. So when you come back, you can really tell where you're supposed to hit. Now, don't put one in the top middle, and you'll learn why in a second. But you do want to put one behind it. That way, whenever you come back this far, you can barely tell that there's a piece in the top missing. So it still looks like a target. But there does need to be a gap right here. So first thing, we need some redstone lamps to be able to light up to tell us that, hey, you hit it. So when you're really far away and you can't see your arrow, you'll see at least that those will light up, and you'll know that you hit it without even being able to see the arrow. So those need some redstone current, and this is our detector block in the middle here, so we need to get current from there up to there. So this is how I do it. You can do it however you would like, but I go from there to there to there to there to there. So now, whenever this detects a hit, those will light up. So now you're wondering, okay, this is the part you've been waiting for. How is he going to detect the hit? Because I'm sure if you're like me, you've seen all the different videos of how it's done, and the majority of them tell you to do this. Put a pressure plate, and then whenever you shoot it with an arrow, the block that's connected to, it'll light up, right? Wrong. There's a problem with that. If you shoot the bottom half of the block, nothing happens. And that, to me, is not a good answer. How is that a good solution to detecting arrows if only the top half of your bullseye works? That is crap. I can't believe people post that as a good solution. So then, there's another thing you might be wondering. Well, I've seen people post that you can use buttons, and that's true. You don't have to hit the button. Watch. I'll hit... Oops, I missed. And I missed again. Point blank. What the hell? So, you can hit the block the button's connected to, and it'll light up. Kind of like with the pressure plate. But there is a fatal flaw. It's the opposite of the pressure plate. If you shoot the top half, it doesn't register it. So, what I decided to do, like any normal person would, why not use both? Bottom, top, up, middle. There you go. That's all you have to do, and you can detect an arrow hit anywhere on the front face. And even though you saw the one that failed when I was showing the demonstration, it's like, I swear I shot like 200 arrows at these things before I finally saw one do that. And it's really rare, where you'll see one actually hit in the white and it, for some reason, doesn't set it off. I don't understand. It must be a bug, because it is very reliable. So anyways, now you have light, and if that's all you wanted, then you're done. So you can come back from a good distance, hit your target, it lights up, and then you know that you hit it. Like I said, though, it doesn't reset itself. You actually have to come up and pull the arrow out. Now, there might be a way you could put some tracks around here and then do like a minecart with a hopper, and maybe when it comes by, it'll suck the arrow off it. I've not tried that. Maybe that'll work, but that'll look kind of tacky and stupid. I'd rather just go pick the arrows up myself. But anyways, the next thing you're thinking is, well, your demonstration showed it make a sound. Well, you are right. So, you know that note blocks make a sound whenever they receive current. So, theoretically, this should make a sound, right? Correct. But, if you're far enough away... Oh, look how cocky I'm getting. If you're far enough away... If I can hit it, it would help. See, you saw it light up, but you didn't hear the sound. It's because we're too far away. And I had that problem with my shooting range because the back targets were really, really far away. So the solution to that is to put all of the speakers, or the note blocks technically, close to where the archer is standing. So how I recommend doing that is digging a trench to wherever your archer is going to stand. Now, here's the thing about note blocks. The block above them has to be open air, or it won't make a sound, and the material that your block is on top of affects the sound. So I'll show you by doing this. If it's dirt that's underneath it, it makes a piano sound. If it's a hard stone object like obsidian or cobblestone, it'll make like a deep bass drum hit. And if it is sand, it'll make a snare drum sound. So you can choose whatever sound you want. With my range, I decided to go with the dirt. And then if you have multiple ones, you can adjust the note. So I had mine going in a row. So basically it's like do, 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 do. Like, you know, it kind of climbs up the scale as you hit each target. And I thought that was cool, but you can do whatever you want. I originally had the little deep bass hit sound or whatever, and it worked fine. But just to let you know, whatever block is underneath it affects what sound it makes. So anyways, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't remember if it's 15 or 14, but redstone only travels so many blocks before it needs a repeater. So we'll put a repeater there, and then there you go. So the signal comes out of there, down, around, through the repeater to boost the signal to make sure it'll get all the way to the block. And that's it. So now, if we stand over here, you hear the noise because it's right by your feet. And then all you gotta do is just cover this up. there you go. And you can't fill this block in, unfortunately, because redstone actually takes up the entire block. So you could put some stuff around here, like a little perimeter to try to hide all your stuff if you wanted. That wouldn't be a very big deal. But anyways, that basically is a completed creative mode version, or survival mode version. You could do all that with survival mode. Now, the next part I'm going to show you is how to do the automatic scorekeeping, and that is the part that you'll need to have creative mode. And single player, all you need is creative mode to do it. If it's a multiplayer server, you have to have an option in your server.properties file set to true, and I think it's called give command block, and you have to have that set to true. I think it defaults to false, so unless you change that, it won't let you get a command block. And how you get a command block, you type slash give the player name. So if you want to give it to yourself, you type in your own player name and then the name of the object you're giving yourself. So we want a command block. So give serrated command block, and then if you look, I now have a command block in my inventory. I already had 2 in there, that's why it shows 3 now. So so let's say this is where we're going to be shooting. Let's put a little button right here. Did I still have a button? There we go. So we will take our command block. We need to run 3 commands, so you need 3 command blocks. Now you probably don't need to, but I ran a repeater to the other 2. That way the one command runs at a time, just so things don't get messed up, and it'll be in the right order. So you right-click the first repeater once, and then right-click the second repeater twice. That way, this one has no delay, this one has 1 delay, and then this one has 2 delays. So that way, this one goes, then this one, then this one. Then connect them up with some redstone dust. So now if you hit it, they'll all 3 run. So this first one, we will type scoreboard, objectives, add scorekeeper. So scoreboard is the Minecraft command, like whitelisting people or changing the weather or the time, any of that crap. That's the actual Minecraft command, the scoreboard. Objectives is the specific sub command, so we're gonna we have to set up an objective to keep track of. So objectives, and then we're adding an objective, and then we're gonna call it scorekeeper. That's what Minecraft will know it as. There'll be a name that Minecraft knows it as, and then there's a name that you'll see on your screen. So if you look on the right side of my screen over here, you'll see that it still says Archery. That's the human name. So scorekeeper is what Minecraft will know it as, and trigger is the method where we count the score. Now this could be other things. I can't remember. There's I don't even know, so I'm not gonna try to type any. But there's ones that'll count how many times you've died. There's ones that'll automatically count how many people you've killed. But if you do trigger means it'll only add to the score if you manually tell it to. So that's what we're gonna do. And then archery, which is whatever you want this over here to say. So in this case, it's going to say archery. So scoreboard, objectives, add scorekeeper, which is what Minecraft is going to know that this objective is called. Archery is the label that the player sees on their screen. And then trigger is the type. We're going to manually trigger it to add more to the score. And then you right click on the second command block. You do scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, scorekeeper. So we're using the scoreboard command again. And by the way, when you're doing a command block, you don't have to put the slash in the front. So scoreboard, and then objectives, and then we're going to set the display of an objective over to this sidebar. So set display, sidebar, and then scorekeeper is the name of the objective, this one. Remember, archery is just the name that the people will see, but Minecraft actually knows that we call it scorekeeper. You can name that whatever you want, by the way, but you have to make sure all your commands use the same name. But in this case, I recommend just typing everything exactly the way I'm doing it just to get it working. Once it's working, you can go mess with it and try to make it better and whatnot. But just to get it working, I recommend not messing with stuff until you've proven that it works first. And then this one will just reset the score. So if you've already been playing and you click on this, it'll reset your score to 0. So then the next player can try. Players, reset. Now, score is actually, this is player name. This would be where you put the name of the player that we're adjusting the score for. But it's really hard to tell what player shot an arrow at your target. So I decided to just make a fake player called score, and anytime you hit any of those, it doesn't matter who shot the arrow, it'll add 1 to that. So I tried doing nearest player, but the problem was when I was shooting the really far targets, I had one of the other guys in our little city, he was walking to his house, which is behind the archery range. He was closer to the target than I was, so when I hit it with my arrow, it gave him the point, and it put his name up on the scoreboard too. And it gave him the points for that hit. So nearest target or nearest player just doesn't, it's not reliable enough. So to me, just let one person go at a time, and then after they go, just hit reset and then let the next player go. But score is actually down here where the player names would be. If you did like a team-based thing, like you made like a deathmatch kind of map and you wanted to see who had how many kills, that would actually be the player name. But we don't care, so we made a fake player called score. That way it just looks like archery score 30. And anyways, that's it for setup. So now if we click it, you'll see some crap down in the chat, which just basically says the setup. So now all we need is another command block over here that activates to add to the score each time it gets hit. So we already have redstone wire here, so we can just put one right there. So this should power this. Now if we right click it, we can test it really quickly. So we can type say it works. So now if this gets power in chat, you should see that it says it works. So we'll click this button. There you go. In chat it says it works. So now that we know it's the wiring works and it's actually properly getting power. So obviously if you don't test it and you just go, you'll probably think your command's wrong, but for all you know, it might actually be your redstone wiring is not getting it powered correctly, and that might be your problem. So I like to do little tests like that just to make sure everything's working. So you do scoreboard, players, add score keeper 1. So scoreboard's a command, and we're in the little players submenu, and then we're adding to this player, which is, we named it score, and then scorekeeper is the name of the objective. So for the scorekeeper objective, for the player score, we are adding 1. And that's all it does. So we already clicked the button over here, so it's ready to rock. So if I shoot this, see on the side it says archery score 1. So once it's reset, shoot it again. Score 2, and it'll keep adding. And all you have to do is just change this number to like if you have a target that's farther back and you want it to be worth 2 points, you just make the command block for the one that's farther away say 2, so whenever you shoot it, it'll give you 2 points. So watch, we have 2 points already on the side, so when we hit it, it should give us 2 more, and then we should be up to 4. Oh damn, I hit it with the 6. Sorry, I was so close. Instead of shooting the arrow at it, it actually had me just click the button. Anyways, you see it incrementing by 2 points. You can set that to whatever you want. You want to set it to 100, then by all means, set it to 100. Well, archery score 108. And change it back to 1. And because these 2 commands already run, like the display on my screen is already turned on and the objective's already created, running these again won't hurt anything. It'll just basically ignore them. But then this one resets the player's score, which is what we want. So not only do you use this button to set up a new game, if you already have a game going, like let's say my turn finished and now it's your turn to try to see how many points you can get, you come up and hit this button, and as you see on the right side of the screen, the score's gone. So now you're ready to shoot again. And I suck and I missed. But there you go, score 1. And then if you want to reset, click the button, score's gone, now the next person can shoot. But you still have to go pick your arrows up. Because if the lights are already on the redstone, then it's not going to count your score. You have to wait till the turn's off, and then you can shoot it again. That's it. That's so simple. It's just, and instead of obsidian, if you wanted, you could just use cobblestone. Oops. You use cobblestone like that. Instead of, if you don't have enough glowstone powder or glowstone blocks from having an enchanted pick, instead of using redstone lanterns, you can actually just use redstone torches and then use current to turn them on or off. They won't be as easy to see as these will, but if you're in survival mode and you don't have a lot of resources, that might be the better route to go. You can build all this with cobblestone if you wanted, and you can build the middle with cobblestone too if you want. It'd just be harder to see what your target is because it's the same color. I mean, heck, you can you put dirt in there if you wanted, and then just put your button on the front. So you can make this out of anything. The resources takes hardly any. There's almost no redstone, just a little bit of redstone to connect everything together. Command block to keep scores optional, only if you're able to do it. You know, you're on your own server, you have command blocks enabled. Then just one repeater or maybe a couple if the wire between your target and your note block is more than 15. You'll need to put repeaters in between every 15 blocks if it's going to go really far. That's it, though. I mean, it's super simple. People usually see stuff that does really fancy crap, like keeping track of score and doing all this fancy stuff, and they assume it's a ton of redstone, but it's really not. I mean, in this case, it's just a couple simple things, but you tie it together, and it makes a pretty slick little finished product. So yeah. I plan on making more videos like this if I come across something noteworthy. Now, there's a million videos on YouTube of Minecraft, so obviously somebody out there has already done most things that I'll probably come up with, so I'm probably not going to post a video unless I think it's something that either hasn't been covered well enough or something that's original, and then I'll put a video up. So if you subscribe, then you won't miss out for updates to whenever I upload new videos, and then you can see some of the cool stuff I might do or stuff I might teach you. So I got lots to learn. I love this game. It's really fun building crap, so guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.